Good afternoon everyone, it's the Epping Motor Company here, and I'm going to try and get a video done on our Mercedes SLK230. Sort of been showers today and now the sun's out, which doesn't make videoing particularly easy because it throws some weird light on the cameras, but I'll try and run through the video as quickly as possible to show some people that have showed interest on the car. Now this is about an August-September 97 R registration Mk1 SLK230 compressor. Now they weren't actually called a Mk1 of course when they came out, rather like Mk1 Escorts weren't called Mk1 Escorts, but once the facelifted redesigned SLK came out in about 2000, where Mercedes they kept mechanically, they were the same, but they tweaked the interior, changed the wheels, changed some of the design items on the bodywork, which I'll pick out, put indicators in the mirrors and stuff like that. People started to refer to these as a Mk1. They're now a pretty rare car because most of them have done huge mileage and been long scrapped or rusted away, or been modified in terms of colour coding sills and lower panels when they should be black. So this is a very standard original looking car. The mileage is just under 71,000 miles. We actually originally sourced the car from a lady in London and had it for about 12 or 14 years, and it was kept in an underground car park there, so it's kept it in very good condition, and she didn't actually do big mileage on it in the last few years. If you check the MOT history, it's done very little mileage. Let's have a walk around the car. The car is in remarkable condition for one of these early SLKs. They're normally sort of completely shot by now, and even the late ones, because they're sort of up to 20 years old, tends to be not in very good condition. But this one at 25 years old is very, very impressive, and I'll try and highlight any flaws I go around it. So we start with the front. As you can see, these Mk1s have the lower black panel on the lower spoiler. The bumper and the front ends of the car are in very good condition. It has got some touch-ups on the bumper, which I quite like to see, because I like to see these cars sort of more original looking at the front rather than freshly painted when you don't know what's been done. Sorry, I got caught in a shower when I was getting it out, so there's a little bit of touching in there. It's got the odd, literally the odd touch up on the front here, because obviously the bumper is what picks up blemishes when you're parking it. There's a little mark down there, slight marks here, but I mean really they're insignificant for a car that's 25 years old, and you're going to get parking blemishes and you're going to get stones and things thrown up from cars you're following, but basically it's very minor cosmetic marks on it that you wouldn't see when you're standing looking at the car normally. It's only because I'm focusing on them on the camera. The bonnet's in absolutely beautiful condition. Again, it has got the odd stone chips on it, which you may or may not be able to see on the camera. It's not easy to touch up silver either. It tends to be a slightly different colour when you touch it up, so I think you can probably see these marks, but I mean they really are tiny little blemishes. What it hasn't got is it hasn't got any damage on the wings. There's a touch up here. I think I saw a couple of chips that have been touched up there, but there's no rusting on the wheel arches, no damage or dents on the wheel arches. The car is mirror straight down the sides. It's got the original black sill panels on it all the way along, which are in excellent condition. No corrosion at all on the bottom of the doors. No damage or dents on the doors. It's not even got any push marks or dings in the door. This is the passenger side we're looking at here. I'm just going to, well, actually we'll do the opening the doors afterwards. Again, rear wheel arch no bubbling on the wheel arches, no damage or dents. Rear bumper is virtually perfect. It's had a tiny little scratch touched up on it on this insert on the bumper, but the rest of the bumper is unmarked. And again, it's got that black lower rear valance, which is what it's meant to be. Well, you can see I've been polishing it. There's actually still some bit of wax on it that I hadn't taken off there. At least you know it's been cleaned for the video. This quarter panel's nice, but there's a bit of wax on there as well, which probably couldn't see what I was doing in the garage. Lower valance panel, very nice. Lights are immaculate on the car. Boot lid again, it's in excellent condition. No damage, no dents, no corrosion. There's a little mark there. Little mark there that's been touched in. If we open up the boot, if I can manage to open it with one hand, it hasn't got any corrosion on the bottom of the lip. Inside is that, so it's going to be difficult with the sun reflecting on me. The inside all looks pristine and original on it. Original cover here that comes out for when you're putting the hard top down. You have to have that pulled out if you're not aware. I've ordered a new, there's meant to be a first aid kit in here, so I've ordered a new first aid kit for it. That should be here in the next day or two. I just hadn't got round to ordering one. I kept forgetting. There's a jack in the car. When they were new, they came with a little compressor air pump, but the damn thing's always, unfortunately, always give up the ghost after about 5 or 6 years. So the lady who had it just bought herself a foot pump, because you need a pump to pump up the spare wheel, which is one of these deflated ones. And there's your locking wheel nut kit that goes on there. Original jack and wheel brace in the car in perfect condition. You can probably see the bottom of the boot is all in excellent condition under the spare wheel, and it's got the original Mercedes tool roll there as well. You can buy the compressors if you're really fussy about having an original one. You can pick them up for about £30 or £40 on eBay. Let's have a look around the seams of the car. There's some dust in there, but I think you can probably see that's immaculate inside there. It's also immaculate round the back of the rear window, where sometimes I've seen them with bubbling on, but there's nothing on this one. And again, the seam on the other side is immaculate on there. Now the roof doesn't fold if you haven't got this pulled out, so I'm going to pull this out, because once I've done a walk around the car, I will operate the roof for anyone interested as well. Carrying around the other side, this is the driver's side of the car. Again, no damage on the wheel arches, no corrosion or bubbling anywhere. This little lip's really nice on it. Have a quick look inside the fuel flap area. All original there. Again, mirror straight down this side of the car. It's got no push marks or dents or scrapes on the door. Even got the original key blanking stopper for the lock, which is, you very rarely ever see these. Basically you pop that out if you're going to use the key in the lock, but obviously no one's bothered to use the key. If they have, they've kept that, so it's very unusual. Again, it's got the black seals on the sides, which is how it's meant to be, so it's not been modified in any way. Front wheel arches, again on the right hand side, no damage, just as I said, that little chip there and a touch up there, which is a chip of some sort. It's not been scraped, because the wheel arch is very nice. no dents or damage on it. Mirror's immaculate on this side, hasn't been caught on anything. Got a feeling the one on the other side has got, looks like a stone chip, maybe that's no, I think that's just dust. No chips on it, tiny little touch-up scrape on there which has been touched in, which looks perfect. Let's have a look inside the door shuts for you. Passenger side door shut. Hopefully the sun reflection won't be affecting it. Really nice along there. It's immaculate at the front. That's inside the door shut, and I'll show you the back of the doors and the underneath. Immaculate on the door faces as well, and if I can get underneath, door bottom is also immaculate without any issues. Let's do the let's go and do the driver's side. Driver's side, immaculate on the door shut as well, not even any, I think there's one seatbelt buckle chip there. Obviously people have a habit of closing them in the door occasionally, but just a couple of chips there. But again, really nice along here. Let's let you have a look along the bottom of the painted sill. Door shuts really nice and clean. And we'll let you again have a look at the back of the door. Really immaculate. Bottom of the doors. No corrosion whatsoever. Right, okay, let's have a quick look inside the car while I've got the doors open. It's got SLK over mats, so they look a bit dusty because of the sun reflecting on them, but actually they're in pretty good condition. Have a look at the original carpets under there. A little bit of fluff. Let me pull this right out. Carpets are absolutely like new. They've had, looks like it's had over mats on it from new. The same on the other side if we walk round. So these get a bit tedious, these videos sometimes. Again, SLK mat on this side. Let's see if we can just pop that out so you can have a quick look. Original carpets like brand new under there as well, no mould or wear at all. And let's have a quick look at the seats now. Now what I like about these early cars is quite a lot of them had this duotone interior. With the later ones, unfortunately, they tended to just have the plain anthracite seats, which was a bit boring. And I think these this anthracite and magma red is a lovely colour interior. It's either magma red or lava red, but the passenger seat, as you can see, is in lovely condition. Centre console is very respectable on it for the age. Dashboard, I do love them with these two-tone colours, and the door panel of course is two-tone as well, red and anthracite, and that's also in very good condition. I've got side airbags on these models. Head round to the other side quickly. That's the driver's side door panel, in nice condition, and the driver's side seat, really good condition. There's no worn out squab on it, no splitting or cracks or holes. Base of the seat's nice. Driver's side of the console is good. Sit in there and show you the dashboard. Centre console, this one's got the carbon fibre. It's got a more recent Sony stereo in because the original stereo from this car would have been a radio cassette, which is no use to anybody now. So obviously people have a habit of, there's an oddments tray there, a bit of a habit of changing and putting slightly better stereos in. Glove box, you've basically got here a little sensor storage compartment which has the cigarette lighter in it, or I should say phone charger, given that not many people smoke nowadays. Got a storage well there which is useful, and obviously another storage well behind the seats. Let's have a quick look under the bonnet before we start the car. Quick look over the roof of the car as well, and the side pillars and the glass. Very, very, very nice car. I mean, for the age and the mileage, the condition's really quite incredible. Windscreen is excellent as well. It's one tiny little chip. I can't even see it outside. I think it's got a tiny little, about a 1mm, oh there it is. There's a little 1mm chip there. But that's the only mark on the windscreen. Let's pop this bonnet open so you can have a quick look underneath. Now, you're not going to win a concourse with this engine bay, I can tell you that now. But you wouldn't be ashamed to open up the bonnet at a friend's or a garage either. You know, it's perfectly acceptable condition underneath there. The headlights are in nice condition and the grille is very nice. This one's got the optional air conditioning, which they didn't all have. It's pretty clean underneath there. There's no corrosion on the shock towers. Let you see under the bonnet. The underneath is very very good. Sometimes they get I've seen them very rusty along here, but this one's pretty much unmarked. Bonnet soundproofing pad, unchewed by mice, unrotted, which is nice to see. The engine itself looks is very clean. There's a little bit of paint bubbling. These tend to about 10 or 15 years old. The heat of the engine starts to cause the paint to lift on these valve covers, but you can of course take the valve cover off and this piece here and re-spray them if you want them for show purposes, but obviously most people are just having these to drive. It's had a brand new battery on it in the last 100 miles or so. Within the last 6 months we put a brand new premium battery on it because I thought the one in the car wasn't, it was holding charge but it wasn't perfect. The splash panel is very good. It has got the usual little touch-up marks they tend to get, these little squares where things clip up through them. The paint peels off, so they've always been touched in, but it's not, you know, it's very, very presentable for the age of the car. There you can see now there's a few little chips on the front. This is brilliant silver, this car, so it's easy enough to get the touch up. It doesn't merit, you wouldn't want to repaint the bonnet, then it'd be a different colour. I'd rather have a car that's frankly completely original on most of the paint. I'm not going to say it hasn't had paint, but there's nothing obvious on it. Sun's done me a favour because it's gone in now, so now I can have a walk around both sides of the cars without my reflection on it. Right, very quickly we have a look at the wheels. The car's got the original 7-spoke alloys they fitted on the earlier cars. They have like they're lacquered, but they have like a polished face on them, with then the rest of the wheels being painted. These all 4 wheels are completely uncurbed and unmarked. I would guess at some stage in the past they've been refurbished, and you can see I think one of the wheels has got a little bit of milkiness underneath the lacquer, but I mean, given the fact the car's 25 years old. Now the front tyres were replaced in 2020. They've done about 1,000 miles, and they're high-low green XP2s, quite a reasonable aftermarket tyre. Obviously it's not a Michelin or a Goodyear. And we'll look at the other front one, and we'll look at the offside front wheel. Is also in excellent condition, just tiny bit of milkiness on the lacquer, but I mean really the only way you're going to cure that would be to have the faces polished the whole time. But again, the wheels are uncurbed, and again these tyres on the front have only done, I think, about 1,000 miles. The rear wheels, which of course are slightly bigger, have been fitted with brand new tyres in the last 100 miles or so, and they're both Accelera PHI Rs, which I use on my own car, which I find are very acceptable. Again, no curbing on that right hand rear wheel, and no curbing on the left hand rear wheel, and again it's got the matching Accelera tyre on the back here. Right, so before we get any rain showers, let's get in the car and operate the roof for you. Now I think you can see the exact mileage as of the day I filmed this video is 70,000, I think 766. Yeah, turn the lights on so I can see that. Now you don't have to start the car to put the roof down. Basically you can turn the ignition on, and then you just pull the button. Let's see if I can manage to show the roof working. The windows drop first, the boot lid raises, and then the whole hood mechanism folds away. Boot lid closes down, and if you keep your fingers on the operating switch, the side windows go up. So let me just quickly get out of the car and let you see it with the roof down. Oh, get too old for all this now. Okay, so there's the car with the roof down now. This one comes with the optional wind deflector. It just fits on the headrests. If you don't like it on, all you do is literally just slide it off like that, and then you can just hang it down behind the headrests. But for the moment I'm going to leave that on. Just use that little loop to pull it up, and that deflects the air. Show you the rear deck panel, or tonneau panel. It's immaculate, beautifully designed, these cars. Quick look at the inside of the car again now with the roof down, so you can see it a little bit better. Very, very pretty little practical sports cars with the roof down. I'm just going to quick walk around. Sorry, the light keeps making it go out of focus, very frustrating. Right, let's just open her up. And what I'm going to do very quickly, if I can jump in, is just start the car up for you. So this one's got cruise control on it. It's got this one's got air conditioning, which is working, blowing cold. I think you can probably hear the fans working on it. Turn that around to hot, and that turns the air conditioning off. It's got this Sony Bluetooth CD player.
Exciting. You know we like to go big for Comic Relief here at Radio 2. Well, this year, big doesn't even cover it, let me tell you. You might be aware that tickets for Eurovision...
Turn it off while I play any music, because that will interfere with the copyright on the video. Obviously electric windows, you've seen those go up and down with the roof operating, so I'll quickly show you the roof going up again. And when you put your finger on the button to operate it the other way, which is there, that causes the windows to drop, and then you'll see the roof mechanism going up. Boot drops down, rear quarter light windows come up, and then again if you keep your finger on the button, the side windows come up. Okay. Revs nice and cleanly, car's got full service history from new. Fully documented service history, huge pile of invoices, original service books, original handbooks, had an oil service in the last 1,000 miles or so. The MOT's until I think August or September 2023, but we will put a new MOT on it at a point of sale. It's literally done about 70 or 80 miles since the last MOT, so it's not going to need anything. Everything's working on the car, windows are working, car drives really nicely, obviously power steering, brakes are nice on the car, so it should go straight through the MOT. Has got electric mirrors, both working, I think you can see that. So that's all you need to know, I would say. Thanks very much for watching the video, I much appreciate it. Let's turn this off again now. Make the most of the nice weather. Final shot for anybody interested. Much appreciate you having a look. If there's anything more you actually would like to know, then by all means drop us an email or give us a call, and we'll try and answer any questions while the car's still available. Thanks again for watching, and it's good afternoon from the Epping Motor Company.